Hey guys, this is Ocean. This is going to be another first impression, not walkthrough because I will, film the walkthrough separately, but just first impression, let's check the deck type of video. Just a heads up, this was Diane made me do it because I joined her live streams about the deck, and at first I wasn't really interested, and this is let's just put the cover here so you can see. This is the Wide Unknown Archetypes deck. I don't have the Wide Unknown Tarot. I don't intend to get it because I just don't see how that work would be good for me. I'm not the biggest fan of the illustration style, which is, as on me, it's not on the deck. It's just that not my type of illustration. And I don't see enough information in the guidebook for me to work. For me that deck, that's a hard sentence. For me, that deck to be, exceptional like it is for so many other people. But that doesn't mean that, I have anything against that deck. And when I saw this originally, I was like, yeah, but it's the similar type of art because it's more of a collage art, and that was just drawing and painting, just in air quotes. So when I first saw it, I've seen the deck used in readings, and that was prompted me to be interested in it in the first place. But then I watched walkthroughs and I was like, no, I don't see. Because, this is another deck where if you just check a walkthrough and you see the cards, I don't think you're getting enough information about the deck to be able to decide for yourself if you want the deck or not. So this is definitely something where you have to check the guidebook. If you know someone who lives close by, if you're lucky like that, who has this deck, I suggest you to, ask them to show you, check the guidebook if you can, because just based on the artwork, it might not speak to you, just like, it was the same thing for me. So, long way around, when I saw Diane talking about this deck in the way that she did, reading from the guidebook and getting that feedback from other people, how it reads, I was like, okay, wait. Actually, I kind of want that. So even though I'm not in a no buyer by choice in a way, I don't really feel like besides being more limited with my budget for tarot, I don't really feel like I want to buy a lot of decks. The only other decks that I'm probably going to get, but not even sure if I can do that this year, is the Margaret Peterson tarot. But to be honest, other than that, there's a lot that I really like, and I'm always happy to see them, but I don't have that very strong I need them now feeling. But this one, I kind of wanted it because I feel like this was something that was missing from my collection, and hopefully, I can use them in pick a card readings as well. So this is the box. It's a magnetic enclosure, and you have what is it? Accept all, reject none, which is a lovely sentiment, which maybe some people can live by. I don't, because I'm more human. But I'm gonna get the deck out because it's a round deck, which is also something that I was interested to see, because I'm working on an oracle currently that I want to be a round deck. So, I was like, oh, okay, at least I know how it feels to have a deck like that, how it shuffles and stuff like that. So this is the box for the cards. I already pre-selected cards, and I will have to remember which pie was which. But this is the guidebook. I kind of like how it looks. And what you get with each card is you have a black and white picture, which I think is enough. And then there's a lot of information, and there's a light, a dark, and a go deeper way of reading the cards. So you have keywords, and then some other information here and over there. And what I've seen and what I'm thinking about also doing is a lot of people made, because, you know, as you can see, the card only has one keyword or name on it. It doesn't offer you a lot there, you know, but we have all the keywords here, and a lot of people, you know, written those keywords on the border. And initially I was like, ooh, the cards are a bit big, because they are. I mean, I have small hands, but they kind of, this is the inside of the box, which has this ribbon, which is very useful because I wasn't able to get every card out immediately. These are the backs, and as you can see, it's much bigger. I mean, you can see, because I know it's much closer than normally I would do. I mean, you know, pre-iPad era. It's much bigger than I expected it, so shuffling this won't be, I mean, yeah, it won't be easy. I know, I can already see that. But it's not like a tarot deck, you know. I mean, I think I'm more forgiving with an oracle and how to shuffle an oracle, because I usually just take one or two out of it. So I don't know, with tarot I need that whole shuffling ritual, and with oracles I'm usually getting the cards quicker during a reading. So okay, wait, okay, this was the yeah, I think this is just a leftover pile, because like I said, I was trying not to pick all the cards. I can't remember how many cards actually are there in the deck. Oh, 78. So, you know, it's like a tarot deck, but it's not. So these are, so I'm gonna do, you know, flip through as well, which is just going to be holding up the cards, because I'm not gonna start messing with overhead with this one, but in return you're getting a better quality. So I didn't want to be, you know, mean, because like I said, this type of art is not my type of art. I love collage decks, but not necessarily something like this. I mean, if you look at what I make with my own deck, you can see. But there were some cards that doesn't make a lot of sense to me, or I just didn't really like how they looked. And there are some that I guess why. I mean, please try to guess why I like this one. And there were more, just like I said, I didn't want to pick out a lot of, because there were more favorites actually than I originally imagined. And with the ones that I don't really like, there are some that confuses me in a way that I just want to work with it later and see how it changes. So that's why I picked it up, not because I'm like, oh, I don't like them and now like I'm not using them. It's more about, this is my first impression, just going through the cards and not really checking, you know, the meanings. And then when I'm doing the more in-depth months later actual review, I will have a baseline, you know, that I can see if the cards that I picked out earlier that I didn't like changed, you know, or are they still something that I don't necessarily like working with. So the cards that I don't necessarily like, it's just, I mean, I understand why the Maiden has this sort of a female anatomical part kind of way, how it's cut and everything, but at first I was like, okay, what where am I, how, which part, what am I looking at? And it's still, you know, it's like, I think this is how you're actually looking at the image. Plus I don't like cutting out things like that. I know that this is a frequent thing in the deck, so you know, it's just my thing, but I understand why it is, but I just don't like it. The King also kind of feels like, I don't know, I'm not gonna say lazy, because that's just mean. It's more about because it's not lazy. I'm entirely sure that this was put together very well, you know, intentioned. But for me, this is not a king. I mean, I don't understand how this is the king, but that said, I'm looking forward to, you know, understand how it is the king. The one, I don't really understand why this is the one. Like, it's, I mean, in the cosmos, there are more galaxies than one, so yeah, I don't see that right now. The river, I get the river part, but I don't get the horse necessarily, so this one was like, this one was something where I don't necessarily see the meaning in the card at first glance. By the way, I really like the cardstock. I don't know what, I don't know what type of a cardstock this is, but I like it. Also, the castle, yeah, it's you know, it's guarded and everything, but I just don't like how it looks. Okay, they're still a bit hard to get separate. And I hope I'm, you know, I mean, on the screen, the underworld with all the, you know, the earthworms, and I don't know if that's a negative or a positive thing, but you know, I like earthworms, so, and I don't really understand these things are like, bleh. So that's something that I don't like. Again, the stone, this doesn't look a stone to me. Like, okay, that might be a gemstone, but when I think about a stone, I think about the pebble, probably that's why. And this just doesn't look like a stone to me at all, and I don't understand what the stone even means here. And there were some cards like this, and the only reason why I picked one up is because it's confusing why this has, you know, multiple options, and this only has two. Like, am I supposed to, I'm assuming I'm supposed to read these extra ones separately. And thank you for all the Roman numerals, because are those the Romans? Yeah, I think because I never got to, you know, I never learned how to read these. I mean, I know the basic, like till like 20 or 13 or something like that, but I never learned the hundreds and the 50s and the something like that. L maybe is 50. I could not see. We had to learn it in school and I completely forgot because I never used it. But so those are just a few cards that were either confusing or I'm like, not really sure about them. And these are a few that I really like how they look. And as you can see, this is not, this one is quite different from, for example, this one, which is not a bad thing. I'm not saying that. It's just that you can guess why. And I also like the Starborn, you know, name. And I don't know if, you know, there's a connection between the Empress, as in being number 1, no, number 3. I was just thinking about it, that probably not, because number 1 is the mother. Okay, and the father is the second, and the Starborn is the third one. Interesting. But yeah, I like this one a lot. The Orphan, I think it's a very it's a heartbreaking card, just thinking about all the babies and all the children who doesn't have their parent, and it's a simple way to illustrate that feeling, but I think it comes off very strongly. The mentor, all the galaxies and stuff, yeah. The hunter, which looks like, I mean, I don't even know. Is this the same horse than in the river? Now that I think about it. Where's the river? It's not as easy to separate the cards when you first get the deck. Okay, it's not exactly the same, but it's similar in a way. Okay. But yeah, I really like how, you know, there's focus, but is this the thing you're hunting that's drawing you in as well? I kind of like that. I'm gonna be honest, all the colors. I like deciding for the colors and for the watercoloriness. The Mystic, I think it's a very good Mystic. The eyes are not my favorite, how they are, how they were cut out, but the overall feeling of the card is very, very cool. Again, the creator with all the colors of the rainbow. Isn't it beautiful? It is. Shadow. I really like, I don't know how she meant these overlapping, shapes and what it means, but I kind of get that, there's your light side, there's your, so to speak, dark side, and there's the shadow that, it's interlapping, and it's even darker than your dark side, actually. So I kind of like that one. The Empty Room, which reminds me of my own from, and I should have, pulled it out, but I completely forgot. When I was going through it, it's reminded me of the Shadow Work card. If you've seen my Building Relationship Oracle, it has that potential, and it has those secrets and stuff like that you need to work on. And what do you see in an empty room? Because that card was a very interesting one. I had that for opportunity alongside with the card that ended up being opportunity. So there was 2 cards. And I mean, let's see if I can quickly find it without, because I'm not stopping the video. Because it's easier to, explain what I mean if you can see the cards that I'm talking about. Okay. Obviously, it's gonna be, probably, I mean, I have one of the cards already, but it's probably gonna be in the end, because Murphy is my friend. Oh, okay, we have Shadow Work. And now all the cards are here. Honestly, I like this deck. I mean, I'm entirely biased because it's my own, but I did. So, this is the Shadow Work card. And this is the opportunity. And maybe it's because of the walls and whatnot, it does remind me of this card. And what I meant to say was, I had both of these images. Hopefully you can see both, for opportunity, because I looked at it and I just saw opportunity there. But a lot of people actually in the comments when I was looking for feedback, which one should I use, said that for them it was Shadow Work, which was quite interesting. What do you see when you look at an empty room like this? Some people will see all of their fears in that. Some people will see freedom. Some people will see, I don't even know, like endless opportunities. It's just so interesting for me, how differently we look at things. Obviously, I mean, these are obvious things, but when you actually experience something like that, I think it's just fascinating. And the last one is the Mask, which I think is again, a very simple way to put what we're masking, what we're hiding, but in a very efficient and clear way to display that. So yeah, those are my favorite ones. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 favorites, and 8 non-favorite cards. So that's not a lot. I mean, like I said, there's more that I liked, more that I was like a bit, but I didn't want to, take out all the cards, because then what's the point doing this? But yeah, I hope this is useful. Like I said, I do think that this guidebook is really great, as you can see with all the text, and you can see that when light, there are other keywords, when dark, there's extra 4 keywords, and if you want to go deeper, you can check the Tibetan Book of the Dead, which is a very interesting one. Lament of the Dead by James Hillman and Sue Shamdashani, maybe? Sanu Shamdashani. Okay, I'm not even gonna try. So I think again, this is a deck where the power is in the guidebook, and oftentimes when we do these, you know, reviews, we don't talk about the guidebook because we haven't had time to actually read it through. Same for me. I just, you know, checked it, and I know because I watched those videos by DM how powerful these cards can be. So I'm looking forward to working with them. And yeah, hope this was useful, and see you in the next one. Bye.